Hello guys, what's up? My name is Hollow, and today we are continuing with another episode of Gallery Sweep. So we're going down to the bottom, and I think I talked about these guys in the last video, but we're doing Tabby and Catherine today. They are actually going to be a family. I mentioned it in the last video that they actually are mother and daughter, but there's a lot of things I have to go over with that, and I have to like recreate the whole family because originally I made them all as a family, like with like the mom, the dad, and the daughter. But when I actually like made them, I didn't like the way the dad turned out, so I deleted him. So the only version that I have of them anymore is the version of them like where I separated them out to upload them to the gallery just as like single people. So I want to go ahead and like remake the family and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them back in, and then I have to recreate her dad and make like a new dad because I haven't done that. But I have to do a lot of stuff to edit them because as you can see, they've lost pretty much everything. They even lost like their skin tones and stuff because I used to use custom skin tones and I don't use those anymore. So there's a lot to change. I want to sort of keep the basic style of them though. So I'm going to try to keep it the same vibe, but I don't know, it'll be difficult. And I have to try to figure out Tabby because like she doesn't even have her traits anymore because I used to use custom traits too. But yeah, we've got a lot of work to do on these guys. Like her mom, I think there's less of. I think Catherine still has quite a bit. She did lose her tattoos, which is sad. I really like the tattoos she has, so I'll have to find something to replace those. But yeah, there's like a lot to do on these guys. So yeah, it looks like Catherine's definitely much better off than Tabby, but she still has some stuff to get. But I'm pretty happy with how Catherine looks. Like I'll just like obviously I have to redo her skin details and stuff because she has none. But yeah, I've got to go ahead and do that, and then I've got to try to fix her dark form and everything, which will be interesting. But yeah, I have to completely recreate Tabby's dad, and it's been so long since I made him. I don't even remember what he was supposed to be. So it'll pretty much just be me making a whole new character. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so we're getting started with the dad first. He was really difficult for me to figure out because it kept giving me like faces that I didn't really like. So it was kind of difficult to actually like get him how I wanted him to look. But I did end up like I do end up liking the one that I come up with. But he has this like weird quirk. Like for whatever reason, it gives them like automatic feet like skin details because he's a spellcaster, and it gave him those like vampire details of like the veins around the eyes, but I couldn't get rid of them. Like I deleted all the skin details and I couldn't get rid of them. I couldn't find them anywhere, so I didn't know how to get rid of them. So I decided to just like incorporate it into his character and into his story, because like his skin, like my skin details, like my custom content ones didn't cover it, so they're just there. So I decided to just sort of incorporate it into the story, and it actually sort of helps because like the story was a bit like it was like complicated. Like I mean, I'll get to the story eventually, like I'll tell you guys about it, but like the main thing is that he's like not like he's the issue is that he's mortal. That's the main issue between him and his wife, is that he's mortal and she's not, so she doesn't want to be with him because she doesn't want to lose him, basically, right? So the idea is like there has to be a reason for her to leave, right? So for him, like spellcasters can make the potion that like prolongs their life. So I was coming up with I was trying to figure out a reason why he couldn't just keep using that so that they could stay together. And so when I got this weird quirk about him, when I got these like veins around him, I was like, oh, well, I can just say that he's cursed or something like that. So now that I have that background, I can tell you the whole story. So for the story I originally came up with, the idea is that Catherine has been a vampire for a long ass time. Like she's like old as dirt. Like this girl has been around forever, and she's just lived through her life. She's fallen in love. She's lost the people she cared about. Like everybody that she knows has eventually died because she meets all these mortals throughout her life, and naturally they don't live forever like she does because she's a vampire. So Catherine becomes like very jaded and very desensitized to everything because she's just sick of watching everybody that she cares about disappear, right? But as she's going through this, she ends up meeting Jonathan Melnick. and he's the spellcaster, and they're together for a while, and he's able to use the potions to stay to stay young and stay with her. So she's like, okay, this is great, we can be together, like I finally found my perfect person, the person who can't leave me, and he's everything I want, that sort of thing. And then he gets cursed, so then he can't use the potion anymore, and it doesn't work for him anymore, so he starts aging again. And of course she is just heartbroken, because like this is the guy that she's absolutely in love with, and she thought that she finally had a love that would last, and then he's going to die. And because she's so she's seen everybody she cares about die, she's terrified of that, so naturally she wants to leave, she wants to get away from it, because she doesn't want to hurt herself again. But during that time, she finds out she's pregnant, and she decides that if the baby is a vampire, she'll take the baby with her, because then she can raise this kid and it'll stay with her forever, and she'll never have to lose it, and she can love it forever, right? But her baby is born a spellcaster, so instead she tries to just cut ties and avoid all the pain and suffering that she knows she's destined for if she stays with her family, because if she stays with them, they'll grow old and they'll die, and she'll lose them, and it'll just be the worst thing in her life, because she'd be losing the person she loves more than anything and the child he gave her. So naturally she's like super upset about it. So instead of facing it and trying to just enjoy the time she has with them or anything like that, she just runs away from it because she's terrified of it. And because of that, Jonathan raises Tabby, their daughter, as a single dad, and he spends all his time trying to find Catherine, because he's still in love with her, and he doesn't care that the time's going to end. He wants to spend every moment he can with her, so he's trying to find her. And so because of that, he's not always taking the most care of Tabby. He's more worried about Catherine than Tabby. And so Tabby starts to grow up with this deep resentment towards her mom, because of course, first of all, her mom abandoned her, so she's obviously upset. But the other thing is that her dad has been spending all this time worrying about her mom rather than her. So she also has a bit of a complex about that, where she's jealous of her own mother. So it's a little different. So it's like this very complex story. And I'd love to play this out in like a Let's Play. I would love to. I think it would be so much fun. But I have no idea how to go about it. Because it's easy enough to come up with a story. Like, that's super easy. But like to actually play it out, like, oh my God, it'd be so difficult. Plus, like, I feel like I'd want to tell the story from the beginning. So if I did that, I'd have to like recreate everything, and like I'd have to like break them down and start all from scratch. And like I couldn't just have them, like, I'd want to do the whole story, you know, like the whole story I just told you. I'd want to do Catherine and Jonathan meeting, and then them falling in love, and then them having Tabby, and then Catherine leaving, and then Tabby growing up. But the thing is, I made them as adults. I mean, well, Tabby's a teen, but like I made them in cast. Like, I didn't play the story out. I made them and came up with a story. So it's like, in order to, like, I either have to like just use their story and start with Catherine and Jonathan, but not have Tabby, and just make a new Tabby in game, like by actually like having them have a kid, and then just having that kid be different. It would end up being a different Tabby than the one I've created. So that's sort of where I have an issue, because like I could just start from where the story is right now, just like using all that stuff as background, but like I don't know where I would go from there, because it's like there's plenty of drama you can come up with like as a storyline, but there's not that much you can actually do in The Sims. Like, I don't really know how to make that storyline come across. Like, there'd be all the like infighting and jealousy and like dealing with their emotions and stuff, and I could like talk about it and everything, but it's hard to set up like the actual sorry, just bumped the mic. But it's hard to set up the actual like emotions and steps and everything, and to create situations in The Sims where they're actually going to do that stuff. So it's like, I really want to make it like a Let's Play or something, but I don't know how. But yeah, I really like this story a lot, and I think it's a lot of fun, but I don't really know where to go with it. Like, because like I've made that whole story up, but it's like, where do I take it? Like, that's the interesting part of the story, is that whole development. So it's like, I don't know what to do with it from there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But it kind of sucks that Jonathan's part is finished, because now I actually want to talk about him a little bit, because like now that I've told you the story, I want to talk to you guys like about like my ideas for the characters. So like for Jonathan, I wanted him to be just sort of very casual. He's just sort of like a very laid back person, where he's not really he's like someone who just sort of hangs out. Like my inspiration for him is sort of like it's from Supernatural, like the show Supernatural. He reminds me of Dean. Like I just sort of had that idea of Dean, where he's just very laid back and he just sort of does his own thing, and he's just very nonchalant about stuff. I sort of had that sort of vision for him. So he's like very casual, just doing his own thing, and like that's why like for his athletic wear, he doesn't like get dressed up to go work out. He's not someone who goes and works out regularly, but like if he works out, like, but like he does stuff that would be considered working out, like the sort of the same way Dean does in Supernatural, where he's like running and chasing out monsters and stuff. But like he's not technically working out, but it is exercise. It's that sort of idea. So I sort of came at it with that angle. So I gave him just regular clothes for his exercise wear, because it'd just be like he wouldn't go out of his way to exercise. It'd just be like something that would happen during his day. So that was sort of the vibe I gave it. But yeah, I just really wanted him to have this sort of nonchalant, cool, sort of laid back vibe. I just thought that would be like the best vibe for him. Like it's what makes sense to me, is that he'd be this very sort of laid back person, which is why I thought he was a good contrast to Catherine, where it's like she's sort of been very she's like this very jaded sort of I don't care about anything sort of person. So it's like the same sort of vibe where they don't really care about stuff, but Jonathan is much like happier. He comes at it from like a much happier end, and Catherine comes at it from much like more jaded, upset sort of end. So it's like an interesting little balance they have there, or at least it was to me. I don't know if it is to you guys, but yeah, I really enjoyed making his character like, and just sort of making him that sort of laid back vibe, because I also think it's fun to like have him compare to Catherine, because like when you look at them together, I don't know if, like, to me at least, they don't really look like a couple. So it's kind of a fun idea to me when couples don't really look like super matchy, you know, where they don't have the same vibe. I like that a lot, because I think it's interesting to see like two different people come together. So I think it's fun to have her as sort of this like classy person who like cares about her appearance a lot, and like worries about like what she looks like and everything, and she takes a lot of effort into being very like very pristine and everything all the time, whereas he just is more laid back and just does what he wants, and just sort of he just wants to be comfortable. He doesn't care how he looks and whatnot. But like for them to match together, and then like just I don't know, I lost my train of thought. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know where it went. It's gone. For them to come together, it was just like I don't know, there's something about it I liked. But yeah, so I really enjoyed going in and doing Catherine again. I didn't end up changing like the outfits that she had on her own. Like I didn't really mess with them that much. I just had to fill in the couple outfits that she missed, and I loved her hair. Like I that's just iconic Catherine Melnick hair to me, so I couldn't change it. I was just like, screw it, like she has to keep it. She has to keep her swoop back hair. I can't do anything else to it. So I didn't even bother trying to change her hair. But yeah, that also, like, speaking of hair, I'm really excited for you guys to see what Tabby's hair turns up being, because like her original hair was like the short curly hair. I don't know why I don't have it, because like I have the kids version of it, but for whatever reason I don't have the adult version anymore. So I don't know what happened to it. I have to go try to find it at some point, because I really do like that hair. But I changed her hair to something different. At first I was going through and I was trying to find like another short hair that sort of had the same vibe, but I found this one hair that's just like, it's so cool and interesting, and it's like I've never used it before on any of my Sims. So I was like, you know what, this is a cool vibe, and I'm gonna give it to her, because I think she can rock it. So yeah, that was really fun. But I'm excited for you guys to see that, because I did really enjoy her hair. Even though it's not like my original vision of her, I still really like it a lot, and I think it suits her pretty well. But yeah, also doing Catherine's like dark form was difficult for me, because like I haven't done a vampire in a long time. Like I've done, like I used to make vampires all the time because I love vampires. I mean, not like specifically Sims vampires. I love vampire lore. Like, I love vampire movies and vampire books and stuff. So, having like vampires in the game, I just naturally do that. But yeah, whenever I make my vampires, I try to make them look a little bit more, ghastly, I guess, where like I give them paler skin. I give them this like effect. I think it's by Pixis, where they have like the dark hands and dark feet. I give them that. I usually try to give them like a vein overlay, so they have like veins pointing out. I used to have one like before I did my big CC purge, before I started my YouTube. I used to have a different one, and it was really good, and I don't have it anymore, and I don't remember who made it, and it makes me so mad because it was so good, and I don't have it anymore, and it really sucks. So I was trying to find a replacement in the tattoos, and like I didn't quite get the one I wanted, but it does still have like a little bit of a vein texture to her face, so it's whatever, we'll deal with it. But yeah, for them, I try to give them like a bit of a darker look. And so like I hollow out their cheeks a little bit, and I give them like red eyes usually, and I give them like extra teeth, because like for my vampires, I like them to always have their incisors sort of pointing out and like showing that they're a vampire. But when they become like fully in dark form, I give them an extra set. So I don't know if you guys saw, but with her teeth, she always has her top incisors out, like even in her like regular form, but in her dark form, she also gets her bottom incisors to point out. So that's fun. But yeah, that's pretty much how I do my dark forms. I just try to make them look, because like I still want them to look like really cool and everything, because I like the idea of like the Hollywood vampire, you know, where they're like beautiful and dramatic and stuff like that. So I like that. So naturally, like when I make my vampires, I want them to still be beautiful, but I want there to be something ghostly and ghastly about them. So that's why I sort of do all that stuff that I mentioned before. But yeah, for Tabby, I had a hard time because like I gave her these scars, and like I don't really know where these scars came from. I never really came up with it. It was just when I was playing around with Tabby when I originally made her, I gave her those scars just like to see if it worked. And like on her original skin detail she had when I first made her, her scars showed through very like kind of prominently, but I couldn't find a skin detail that worked like that. Either the scar just sat on top, or it completely covered it, or it was like this one where you can just barely see it if you're really looking for it. So like because I know they're there, I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, I can see that she has the scar on her eye and the scar on her lip. I got it. But like if you don't know about it, you don't really see it, which is kind of like, it's like I don't know how I feel about it, because like I really wanted her to have that scar. Like I don't know why I particularly did. Like it's just like sort of what I made her as, and it was just sort of the vibe I wanted for her. So yeah, but here's the hair I found, and I thought it was so cool because like I've never used it before, and I was like, oh, this is actually really awesome. It's like a very like alternative hairstyle. I really like it. So I thought it looked pretty cool with her. Plus like it shows off her ears, so you can see all her piercings and stuff, which I think she would really want. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. Plus like I actually like I like having her roots show, so like you can see that she dyes her hair. Like I like that a lot, because like originally when I made her before, when I first made her, she just had pink hair. Like there was no roots or anything. But I actually like when the roots show and stuff. I think it's like a cool look to see the contrast between like what someone's actual hair is and what they change it to be. Like I just like that personally, especially when it's like faded out well and it's not like a straight line. But yeah, so I just really enjoyed doing that. But like I also wanted to find like a style that looks like her hair is down, because like it's a very interesting style to keep up like all the time. So I found like that other hair. It's like the Billy hair by who was it? It's either Leah Lilith or someone else. I can't remember who. I don't know. I can't remember, but it's the Billy hair, the Billie Eilish hair. But I really like it, and like I thought it was like a really good version of this hair being down, so I really liked how it ended up looking, so I used that for a couple of her looks. But yeah, for her main outfit, I just sort of tried to recreate the one that I made when I originally made her, because it was just like a long sleeve shirt under her thing with some shorts, and it's different because like I don't have the actual shirt and stuff anymore, but it still sort of has the same vibe. And then I tried to make like a second outfit for her, just because like it felt kind of like I don't know, sort of cheaty to use the exact same one again. So I was thinking of like trying to do other things. So I was like trying out these other stuff, and I was like, oh, maybe I should give her more of like a witchy vibe, you know? But it just seemed like too soft for her. Like it's like all of the witchy stuff that I was looking at was more like soft witch, like softy, like aesthetic witch, rather than the like the sort of like cool, tough sort of look that she has. So yeah, I don't know. It's just sort of something I worked on. But yeah. Oh, I just remembered why I gave her scars. I remember now. It's because the original traits that she had like she had custom traits. So she had like a rebellious one, and then like a really angry one, because the idea was that she was just like your typical angry teen. That's sort of the idea. But she like the idea was that she got into fights a lot because she was always so like antagonistic towards people. So she was just like, if you bothered her at all, she would fight you. That was sort of the idea. So the idea was that because she's a spellcaster, she also is involved with the spellcaster's world, so things get a little more interesting. And the idea is that like spells are more dangerous, so she's got like a couple cuts from like actual spell work rather than just like the cuts and bruises that she has from fighting people. So that's where her scar came from. I remembered. I got there. It took me a bit to figure it out, but I remembered. But yeah. So I really like this family. I like how they turned out. I feel like this sort of voiceover has been all over the place, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm not redoing it because I'm already running late on this. Like literally it's supposed to go up in 3.5 hours, and I am still doing the voiceover. So yeah, and my upload speed is like horrible, so it might even not come out on time because I still have to like save the video. I have to finish the video, I have to save it, like I have to like render it and everything, and then I have to upload it to YouTube, which takes like 3-4 hours on its own usually. So if I get a good bit of luck, I can probably get it up in 2 hours. But yeah, it's probably gonna be late today. So yeah, if this video came out after 6 p.m., you know why? Because I was running late. I had a pretty shit week. So yeah, I just sort of I fell behind on like everything. But yeah. Anyways, I really like how these family turned out, and I like them a lot. I wasn't sure how it was gonna be because it's been so long since I worked on them, and obviously like I didn't have the dad anymore, the original dad. So it was like hard to actually pull them together and make it work. But yeah, I do really like how they came out, and I like the way they look, and I hope you guys do too. Yeah, but we're about to go into the actual like slowdown where you get to see all their outfits just individually. Yeah, if you guys enjoy it, like just let me know what you think about them. If there's something that you think like really doesn't suit the character based off what I said or something, just let me know, because I'd love to take your opinion on stuff. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making these guys, remaking these guys, and I really want to do something with their story at some point. I don't know when it'll happen. Like I need a lot of time to like think it over and everything and try to plan out what I would want to do with it. But yeah, I'm really excited for it, and I think they turned out pretty good. So I'm excited to see what you guys think, and I hope you guys really like them, because I think they're all pretty great. And I think they turned out pretty good considering like they're so like they were missing so much, and I didn't really know what to do with them and everything. But yeah. So just give me your guys' opinion, I guess. Just tell me what you think about them, and give me any like other comments you want to talk about, like just like what do you think I should do, like if you want more like gallery sweep stuff like that, if there's something you think I should change about it, just anything. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.